David Nixon joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Holding it down. David, how's that number 43 jersey?
Still sits in my office. I get to take a look at it every day and miss my days playing there. I can't believe it has been, this year is 10 years. 10 years since I stepped on that field, so it's been a little while.
Old man David Nixon had an old man moment yesterday on the golf course. Lost a pair of size 13 shoes. How does that happen, David?
Listen, they were in a big Nike box at the BYU golf tourney, and Jason and I were carding together. We got a little excited. We were taking corners a little tight, doing some Tokyo drifting out there, and they somehow fell out. I don't know. But fortunately somebody else found them, returned them to me, and I'm wearing those Nike Air Maxes right now.
Well, at least you found them. That's what's really important. Are you the greatest number 43 to ever play at BYU? This is your opportunity to set the record straight.
Who am I up against competition-wise? Can you guys give me some names?
Let's see.
We're getting the research department on that right now,
yes.
David.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, you're just supposed to say me. Yes, I am the greatest.
Say I am.
I don't know. I like to think that my career was, was positive, but to say you're the greatest or something, I don't know. We'll let the fans decide that.
Okay, fair enough. Instant Twitter poll right now. Was David Nixon the greatest number 43 to ever play at BYU? We'll get you the results on that. In the meantime, I know the background a little bit to the story of how you came to wear number 43, but let's revisit that with all of BYU Sports Nation. How did you get to the jersey number 43?
Well, it wasn't anything fantastic. I showed up freshman year, and this is back in the day when Croden was the head coach, and Mick Hill was still at the helm there in the equipment room. It really was one of those things like, you're a freshman. Listen, this is the number you're getting. I don't care what number you take. Because I wanted number 11. I played with that in high school. And they said, no, linebackers got to be in the 40s. There's no deviating from that. And I was 43. I came off my mission. I also wanted to change again. And Bronco was like, nope, linebackers in the 40s. So it kind of stuck. But then, of course, a couple years after I left, Kyle Van Noy, Jordan Pendleton, they're 3 and 1. I'm like, come on, where was this at? But 43 grew on me quick, and it was a number that, Keel was 41, I was 43, and it's kind of fun to have those two numbers playing out there and kind of bookending the linebacker defense out there.
Well, now because of that, you are joining us with 43 days away from game number 1. So it was all meant to be, clearly.
Indeed. It was the stars aligned on this one for sure.
David, our question of the day is, in honor of Tony Finau, who is an honorary Cougar, who is the greatest honorary BYU Cougar of all time? And our question to you is, what about Bryce Harper, who you apparently were working out with? I found out after he won the home run derby, you're tweeting out an experience you had with Bryce Harper.
That's pretty wild, right? I mean, it's a true story. So Justin McClure and I, Justin trained me in my off seasons. I think I was with the Rams in my off season. And, I'm sitting there working out with Justin, just him and I. He's coaching me up. And then walks the guy with the hoodie on. And Justin nor I were the only ones in the weight room. We really knew what was going on. The guy comes in, he throws out the hoodie. He's like, hey, you guys mind if I get a workout in? And Justin didn't know who he was. And Justin was like, I kind of looked at him like, what do I say to this guy? And then I kind of piped in for Justin. I was like, yeah, dude, you can work out with us. No worries, hop right in. And so he did. He hopped in, and we did squats. We did the whole full workout together. And then immediately, right after we went and ran stadium stairs and the Smith Fieldhouse, and he was as cool as could be. He was in there sharing stories, just relaxed, good time. And, we ended up, kind of connecting via social media afterwards. But, this was years ago. This was, 6-7 years ago. But just a great guy, and he was obviously up here visiting his now wife when she was at BYU playing soccer, and so just kind of a cool experience. So, we could call him an honorary member. I like the Finau, especially with him doing so well in the British Open, and of course, LaBelle. I think that probably takes the cake.
All right, so there's your connection to Bryce Harper and how David Nixon helped Bryce Harper win the home run derby.
100%.
It was that workout that set the tone.
It was the BYU Sports Nation karma, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and we all know that Bryce loves BYU, right?
And the funny thing is, he didn't have anything at the time. He didn't have anything bad to say. I think he actually liked BYU, but I think maybe his feelings have changed a little bit. But hey, just like everyone else, he's a true Cougar at heart.
David Nixon with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's get to the nitty-gritty, my friend, and discuss this BYU defense, which, according to SB Nation, if there were a college football game, it would be rated as 83 out of 100, pretty solid. How do you feel like the BYU defense rates compared to what they did last year, and what do you expect from them in 2018?
Well, if you go back to, AFR last year and our pre- and post-game shows, we talked a lot about this, that this team had a lot of struggles. But fortunately, because of, if you look at injuries, which are unfortunate, but I guess if you can take any positive, it's the fact that BYU got a lot of young guys that got a lot of experience last year, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And so defensively, I think, that's going to prove to help them with the depth they need this year. But when you talk about defense and how they can come together, I look at our days with our defense, and it was really led by that front seven and having that defensive line that's stout and having linebackers that are on the same page. And I think that's my biggest hope this year for that linebacker corps is that they can be on the same page. And like last year, you had Fred Warner that teams could go double team him and expose the rest of the defense. This year, the hope is that all guys can step up to the plate, contribute equally, and be able to, make an impact. And so this year's team, it's going to be interesting to see who emerges as those leaders. Butch Powell kind of comes back from his season last year. How Sione can play. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, but if everyone can gel together and be a cohesive unit, I mean, the sky's the limit. And like I said, that's looking back on our defenses in 06, 07, 08. That's exactly what we did. We didn't have a ton of huge playmakers per se, but we all played off each other really well. And we understood where each other were going to be and the defense and how we could play off each other. And we're able to kind of cover up the gaps that, most defense get exposed with.
Jason and I talked earlier this week about leadership and leaders, and we talked about it with a linebacker, Shane Muirbrook, who was one of the greats to play at BYU. Obviously, this is a critical scenario for BYU because last year, while there may have been leaders in terms of their play on the field, there just wasn't that complete package of a leader on the BYU football team. How do you implement that, and who can that be this year?
It's not really something you can implement. It's leadership it just comes, and it kind of manifests itself through time. You've got guys that recognize you're a senior, this is my time, and they'll kind of emerge from the pack and be that guy, the one that's kind of scheduling workouts, making sure guys are there for 7-on-7 when coaches can't be involved. They're the ones texting, calling everybody. And listen, it's not easy. My senior year I was team captain. It's tough because you're hurting cats in the sense that you got a lot of college kids that got different stuff going on that are living in different cities, going back home. And so trying to coordinate all that's not easy. But that's why you get that little C patch on your jerseys because you're the captain of the team, and that kind of responsibility falls to you. So I'm interested to see who that guy's going to be this year because it can change as well. I mean, we've seen in the past that guys slip up and get benched or whatever it may be, and next thing you know, somebody else has got to step up and be that leader on the field for that particular game or whatever it may be. So there's no doubt that last year's team lacked the leadership because of injuries. You had guys that were getting injured, and you can still be a rah-rah leader in the locker room or on the sidelines, but you really need that guy on the field that you can depend on, and that's something that the BYU team, the guys have got to be able to step up and somebody's got to emerge because leadership is key. I mean, you look back at our teams as well. John Beck, you had Cameron Jensen, you had great leaders that led both the offense side of the ball and defense side of the ball, and it's crucial. So this team's got to develop some of those leaders to lead this team against this brutal schedule this year.
In our previous segment, David, we were talking about Matt Bushman. He was named to the Mackey Award watch list, coming off a freshman All-American season, heading into year 2 at BYU. What are your expectations for Matt heading into his second season with this team?
Yeah, listen, freshman year, I mean, I know from experience, freshman year is just a whirlwind. I mean, your head's spinning. I mean, it's just, it's all over the place. And so I think with him having a full year underneath his belt and doing as well as he did in that freshman year speaks volumes to him and kind of what's on the horizon for Matt. So I'm excited for him. I think, obviously, Coach Grimes can come in and make him an integral part of that offense and make sure that, they can get the ball to him, which we always talk about. If you can have a tight end that is as prolific as a guy like Bushman, just opens up everything on the outside for you because then the linebackers and the safeties have to respect that threat down the middle. And so if Bushman can go out there and perform the way he did last year and get even better, man, it's exciting. It really is. And then you throw in maybe some more dual tight end sets with the athletes, Moroni and others. I think Grimes has some serious weapons he can play with. It's just BYU's got to avoid that injury bug, and that's what got him last year. And if they can avoid that, which is always a coin toss, if they can avoid it, I think this offense definitely has some potential.
All right, David, 30 seconds on the clock. We'll finish with this. Which BYU football player are you most excited to watch?
For me, it's not a particular player. For me, it's the actual position, that quarterback position. Who's going to be the guy to emerge as the starter? That's the biggest question, but for me, that's going to lead this whole team. Is who's going to be the guy that's going to be the leader, that's going to be the starter, and can lead this team out there on Saturdays. That's, for me, that's what I'm looking at. I know everyone else is as well, but it's just so crucial. This game of football, especially in college, to have a quarterback that can go out there and perform and get the ball to those playmakers and lead the offense. It's obviously crucial. So that's all I'll be looking at. It'll be interesting to see that battle play out in fall camp and see who emerges as the guy.
All right, David, great stuff. Glad you found your shoes. Now you just need to find your golf game.
Hey, we'll be talking about that later, you and I.
I'm going to pay for that one, aren't I? I'm sorry. David, great to talk to you, man.
All right, guys, take care.
David Nixon on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.